I work front desk at a boutique hotel in Bruges. Last September, an American couple checked in at 9 p.m. Within 10 minutes, the husband returned to the lobby. "Your hotel is broken," he announced. I asked what was wrong. He gestured vaguely toward the stairs. "There's no sound." "Like zero sound. Is the power out?" I explained our walls were thick stone, built in 1642. He stared at me. "That can't be healthy. Where's the AC hum? Where's the traffic?" I told him our street was pedestrian only. He insisted something was malfunctioning. "I can hear my own heartbeat up there. That's not normal." His wife appeared, equally concerned. "Do you have a white noise machine?" We didn't. She asked if we could leave a TV on in the hallway. "Just for background noise. We can't sleep in total silence." I offered to open their window. She looked horrified. "And let in outside air?" They checked out the next morning. Said the quiet gave them anxiety. Left a review saying our hotel was unnaturally silent, possibly haunted. "We're fully booked year-round. The silence is why people come here." A German friend who works at a library in Munich told me an American tourist asked where the coffee shop was inside. She said there wasn't one. He responded, "Then how do people stay awake while reading?" Another bartender in Oslo served an American who complained the bar was too quiet for a Saturday night. It was 11 p.m. Everyone was talking, just not shouting. He kept asking her to turn up music that was already playing. She suggested he was jet-lagged. He said, "I'm from New York. I know what nightlife sounds like." These stories aren't about all Americans. But when it happens, it's always the same confusion. Silence equals something wrong. I manage a spa in the Swiss Alps. American guest asked why our relaxation room had no music. I explained silence was part of the therapeutic experience. She said, "But how do you relax without something playing?" I suggested focusing on breathing, mountain views, inner peace. She pulled out her phone, started playing meditation sounds through the speaker. Other guests stared. I politely asked her to use headphones. She seemed genuinely confused. "But it's relaxation music. For relaxing." I explained others were trying to enjoy quiet. She lowered the volume instead of stopping it entirely. "Is this better?" Someone finally asked her to turn it off. She left a review saying our spa was weirdly aggressive about silence and not welcoming to different relaxation styles. She gave us 2 stars. Said we should consider adding ambient soundscapes for guests who prefer guided meditation environments. We're a silent spa. It says so on our website in 3 languages. My cousin drives a taxi in Copenhagen. Picked up an American couple at the airport around 10 p.m. They commented on how quiet the city was. He explained most Danes were home by that hour on weekdays. The husband said, "But what about nightlife?" My cousin mentioned bars were open, just not blasting music into the street. The wife asked if there was a citywide noise ordinance. He said no, people just naturally kept volumes down after certain hours. The husband responded, "That's so depressing. How do you know you're having fun if it's quiet?" My cousin suggested Danes define fun differently. The wife said, "This is why Denmark has high antidepressant use, right? Because everything's so quiet." My cousin informed her Denmark consistently ranks among the world's happiest countries. She said, "Yeah, but you probably need the silence to hear the depression." They tipped in dollars. He had to go to a bank to exchange it. They'd insisted U.S. currency was accepted everywhere in Europe. I work at a vineyard in Tuscany. American tour group arrived for a tasting. Our vineyard is in a valley, surrounded by hills, no road noise for kilometers. After 10 minutes, one woman asked if our sound system was broken. I said we didn't have one. She asked what we usually played during tastings. I explained we preferred letting guests enjoy the natural ambience, birds, wind, distant sheep bells. She said, But it's so quiet I can hear people chewing. That's awkward. I suggested focusing on the wine's flavors instead. She responded, I can't focus without background noise. My brain needs something to filter out. Another guest asked if we had a Bluetooth speaker they could connect to. I politely declined. Someone started humming. Others joined in. They created their own background noise, humming different songs simultaneously. It was far more distracting than silence. Our guide tried continuing the wine education. The humming got louder. One man started beatboxing softly. A woman recorded it for social media. Said she was making content in the quiet Italian countryside. The video showed 12 Americans humming and beatboxing while a confused Italian sommelier held up wine bottles. She captioned it, "When the vineyard is too bougie for music." It got 400,000 views. We received 17 booking requests asking if we were the humming vineyard. We are not. I teach yoga in Stockholm. American joined our morning meditation class. 15 minutes into silent meditation, she raised her hand. I opened my eyes. She whispered loudly, "Is the instructor coming?" I said I was the instructor. She looked confused. "But you're not saying anything." I explained we were in silent meditation. She said, "For how long?" I told her 20 more minutes. She stood up, gathered her mat. I paid for a class. This is just sitting. I offered to explain our meditation philosophy after class. She declined. In America, yoga teachers guide you through it. They tell you what to think. I suggested that was guided meditation, whereas we practiced silent awareness. She said, "That's just fancy words for doing nothing." She left. Wrote on our Facebook page that we scammed her by not teaching. 3 other students messaged me privately. They'd found the interruption more disruptive than helpful. One said, "She talked more in 2 minutes than we do in 2 months. We're a silent meditation studio." Some people simply can't handle that. I host a cafe in Amsterdam. American sat down, ordered coffee, immediately put in earbuds. Perfectly normal. 20 minutes later, he approached the counter. "Why is everyone whispering?" I looked around. Normal conversation volume. I asked what he meant. He said, "Everyone's talking so quietly. Is there a rule?" I explained Dutch people generally don't shout in cafes. He responded, "But how do you socialize if you can't hear each other?" I pointed out everyone seemed to be hearing each other fine. He insisted, "In America, you know a place is fun when it's loud. This feels like a library." I told him it was a cafe, not a nightclub. He asked if Amsterdam had loud cafes he could try. I suggested places near tourist areas. He said, "See, that's what I thought. Real locals don't know how to have a good time." He left his earbuds in for the rest of his visit, playing music loud enough that I could hear it from 3 meters away. Other customers kept glancing at him. He seemed oblivious. When he left, he told me, "You should really work on the energy in here. Maybe hire a DJ for weekends. We've been open since 1952. We're not hiring a DJ." My sister works at a bookshop in Edinburgh. American customer browsed for 30 minutes. Finally approached her desk. "Do you have a kids section that's louder? My daughter can't concentrate in here." My sister explained the entire shop maintained quiet for reading and browsing. The mother said, "She's used to noise. She does homework with the TV on. This silence is throwing her off." My sister suggested that might help her daughter focus better. The mother disagreed. She needs stimulation. All kids do. The daughter, about 9 years old, seemed perfectly content reading on a bench. The mother kept checking on her, asking if she was okay in all this quiet. The girl said she was fine. The mother bought her a book, then asked if they validated parking. My sister explained there was no parking at the shop. It was in Old Town's pedestrian zone. The mother asked how people brought their purchases to their cars. My sister said most people walked or took the bus. The mother stared at her. You expect people to carry books on public transit? My sister confirmed this was normal. The mother said, in America, we value convenience. My sister noted Scotland also valued convenience, just defined it differently. They left. The daughter waved goodbye. She'd been quiet the entire time. The mother had done all the talking. I bartended in Prague. American ordered a beer, sat in the corner booth. After his second beer, he approached me. Is your bar always this dead? I looked around. 15 people scattered across tables, talking quietly, enjoying drink. I told him we were normally this busy on Tuesday evenings. He said, but nobody's laughing. Nobody's loud. How do you make money if it's not packed? I explained Prague bars didn't need to be loud to be profitable. He responded, in the States you can measure a good bar by the noise level. This feels like a funeral. I suggested he might prefer clubs in the tourist district. He said, I wanted to see where real locals go. But real locals are boring, I guess. A regular sitting nearby said in perfect English, we can hear you. The American didn't catch the irony. He finished his beer, left a review saying our bar lacked energy, and felt like drinking in a monastery. One of our regulars is a monk. He found it hilarious. My friend manages a museum in Vienna. American family entered the classical art gallery. Within 5 minutes, the teenage son asked where the audio guide was. My friend explained they offered audio guides at the entrance. The father said, no, like, where's the background music? My friend told him museums don't play music in galleries. The father seemed shocked. How are people supposed to appreciate art in total silence? My friend suggested silence helped visitors focus on the paintings. The mother chimed in. But it's so awkward. Everyone can hear each other's footsteps. My friend explained that was intentional. It encouraged mindful observation. The son said, this is boring. Can I play music on my phone? My friend politely declined. The father asked if this was an Austrian thing or a European thing. My friend said most museums worldwide valued quiet. The father responded, American museums have ambience. My friend noted the Louvre, Prado, and British Museum were all silent. The father said, well, they're probably trying to copy us. They spent 8 minutes in the gallery. Left because the vibe was off. The painting they stood in front of was a Rembrandt worth 40 million euros. They took a selfie without looking at it. I work at a mountain lodge in Norway, 3 hours north of Oslo. American family checked in for a week. First night at dinner, the father asked why we didn't have music playing in the dining room. I explained we preferred letting guests enjoy the mountain silence and each other's company. He said, but what are we supposed to listen to? I suggested conversation, the fireplace, the wind outside. He looked at his wife. This is going to be a long week. By day 3, they'd stopped complaining about the quiet. I noticed them sitting on the terrace after breakfast, just listening. The daughter mentioned she'd never heard wind in trees before. Not really listened. The mother said she'd forgotten what her own thoughts sounded like without constant background noise. On their last day, the father admitted something. I kept waiting for the silence to stop bothering me. Then I realized it stopped bothering me 2 days ago, and I didn't notice. They asked if we had availability next year. Same week, same room. The mother made one request. Please don't add music by then. Not every American struggles with European quiet. But the ones who do struggle loudly. They fill silence with noise because silence feels wrong to them. They've spent their lives in environments where background sound is constant. Traffic, AC, TVs in waiting rooms, music in elevators, restaurants designed for noise. Silence isn't peaceful to them. It's unsettling. Europeans grow up with quiet. We're taught to lower our voices indoors, to value contemplation, to let silence exist without filling it. Americans are taught that silence is awkward, that good times are loud times, that quiet means something's wrong. Neither approach is better. They're just different. But sometimes, when an American finally stops resisting the silence, something shifts. They hear things they'd forgotten existed. Birds, wind, their own breathing. They realize silence isn't empty. It's full of everything they've been drowning out. Maybe that's what scares them most. Not the silence itself, but what they might hear in it. Next time, why Americans think European plug sockets are a personal attack.